Yeah. E&E. Stacks with the facts. What up, Stacks? I got my man Mr. Guarantee on the track with me.
The Guarantee.
Yeah. And we bringing this message to you fake woke niggas.
Gotta wake these niggas up, man.
All y'all out there spreading them lies and falling victim to this propaganda.
Niggas believe it.
Glitch. Let's talk to these niggas. Fake woke niggas be surrounding me daily, so I dance around them like my name was Alvin Ailey. Fake woke niggas be surrounding me daily.
Alarm clock, wake 'em up. Time to wake 'em up.
Fake woke niggas be surrounding me daily, so I dance around them like my name was Alvin Ailey. Fake woke niggas be surrounding me daily.
Alarm clock, wake 'em up. Time to wake 'em up.
Gotta set the alarm, wake you up from your slumber. With a hairy fake woke niggas, y'all dumbass. Dudes, but people don't pay any attention. Let's see immediately. We the wake them up henchmen.
A lot of times these woke niggas be really sleep. Shit, the price on a nigga's life is extra real. Only the real for my niggas. We all on it. We made a living eating these rappers, nigga. Bon appetit.
Yeah, pause. Me and my brethren be down for the cause. We gotta come together and tear down all these walls and illusory fault lines like racism and bring light to the woke, just like the Baptist.
The congregation spoke. These niggas ain't who they claim to be. A bunch of Peter pop off niggas really be lame to me. Anytime you at war, it's gonna be casualties. The more we come together, it's easy to beat the enemy.
Fake woke niggas be surrounding me daily, so I dance around them like my name was Alvin Ailey. Fake woke niggas be surrounding me daily.
Alarm clock, wake 'em up. Time to wake 'em up.
Fake woke niggas be surrounding me daily, so I dance around them like my name was Alvin Ailey. Fake woke niggas be surrounding me daily.
Alarm clock, wake 'em up. Time to wake 'em up. Alarm clock to the woke. Time to wake 'em up. The main initiative should be to get your cake up. You wave ride niggas need life jackets to stay afloat. Meanwhile, I'm blowing on gas straight from the Ivory Coast.
In every post I be hitting y'all with them straight facts. Critters down here, we got a fence down low. They coming with microchips and vaccinations. Fake no niggas perpetuating indoctrination.
Fuck this pandemic scam. This was a damn gimmick. Niggas will believe that their mom died if she still living. Open your eyes, nigga. You can see the lies, nigga. We gotta stop letting the blind lead the blind, nigga.
And that's the biggest fact, which you better tell these niggas. Listen to the 2030 game. It's gonna be hell, niggas. So fuck AOC and her new Green Deal. I'm Neo in this bitch. You want they red pill? Yeah. What up? Shout out to my homie Fly Town 614, man. That's one of the main reasons why I played the joint too, man. I see my brother Fly Town 614 at the gym today, and it's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? To see my brothers up there in that goddamn gym sweating, getting it in. You know what I'm saying? That lets me know my message to get y'all's asses in the gym ain't falling on deaf ears. You dig? Now, don't get it twisted, man. I'm not the healthiest dude. I'm not the most in shape dude. You know what I'm saying? But I get my ass up in that gym. I'm in very decent shape. And I'm telling you right now, man, I feel great. The energy and stamina is out the roof. You dig? You know what I'm talking about, ladies, man? Shout out to my brother, Lance Parker. Shout out to my brother, Mr. O with the info. Both of my Joes from Chicago. You dig? I really wanted y'all two to really tap in on tonight's show. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to drop the link here in about at the hour mark. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a serious situation. Shout out to our brother Red Supreme TV1 for keeping his foot on the neck on this subject. You already know I am too. I talk about this stuff all the time. But You know, I want y'all to really understand. I really want y'all to over and outer understand what the fuck is actually going on in Chicago, because it's about to be coming to a city near you. You dig? Now, this stuff is very, very serious, y'all. It's not a joke. It's not a game. It goes way deeper than just some Mexicans and black people, man. This shit go deep, man. You hear me? And like I've been telling y'all, Chicago is being primed and prepped to be Mega City 1. You hear me? How long I've been telling y'all about this movie Dread? Well, I've been telling y'all, for one, to go watch this movie. And two, that everything is happening in order to bring this new society that they want into fruition. And it has long been my sentiment. This starts back to when fuck nigga Obama was put in the office, man. Right? Him and his him and his boyfriend, him and his husband with her handsome ass. I still got a stack for anybody who can provide me with a picture of Michelle Michael Obama Robinson pregnant. I'll go, man. I'll tell you, man. I'll go to the bank and I'll go live and everything, man. Go get you $1,000 out. You produce a picture of that woman pregnant with me to me. And I ain't talking. Don't try to hit no Photoshop shit on me, because I'm very well versed and studied in Photoshop. I can tell. What? Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Shout out to all the real ones across the world, man. I be getting emails from people from fucking Norway and goddamn it, the United Kingdom, and I appreciate everybody that tap in, man. You never know who's listening. You never know who's watching. Right? Oh, and I got in. Well, I ain't gonna say I got in contact with it, because that would be kind of lightweight embellishing, but not full contact anyway. But I've gotten in contact with Shalom Girl. I'm gonna see if we're gonna get her on the situation, man, because I gotta get her on here. But yeah, you know, let me find this for y'all, man. You feel me? I've been telling y'all that y'all have to go see this movie, man. If y'all never watched this movie, y'all have to go see it. Right? If y'all never seen this movie before, now would be the best time to watch it. My fault, 2012 is when this movie came out. Huh? Right? Now, y'all know how YouTube be tripping with copyrights and all that shit. Right? Y'all know how YouTube get down, man. Right? Go watch this movie, y'all. If y'all want to get a good idea of what's planned for Chicago, go watch this movie. The mega structures are on the way. The mega cities and mega regions are on the way. Right? Now, as far as the police go, I don't know if they're going to do all that. It's a possibility. But y'all go watch this movie, man. Right? I've been telling y'all that y'all need to go watch this movie, man. You feel me? About to have some interesting people on the show too, man. Y'all know how You know how goddamn YouTube be tripping with copyrights and all that, right? I be wanting to show certain videos and stuff to y'all, but y'all know how they be tripping on copyrights, man.
800 million people living in the ruin of the old world. Only one thing fighting for order in the chaos.
Right.
Judges.
I risk it all for y'all, man.
It's drugs.
You hear me?
Nothing of it is.
I'm willing to risk it all for y'all, man. Right? The mega cities, the mega structures are on the way.
We can fight off the stars.
Rampant crime, overpopulation, severe extreme homelessness, defunding of the police.
If we play this right, we can take the whole city.
Huh?
800 million people living in the ruin of the old world. Only one thing.
800 million people in one city.
The men and women of the Hall of Justice.
Pastries is the manufacturing base for all the slow-mo in Mega City 1.
You know how often we get a judge up in peace trees? Well, you got one now. She has control of everything. Levels 1 to 200.
This is Mama. Somewhere in this block are 2 judges.
That's not good.
I want him dead.
We're gonna have to go through him. Rookie, you ready?
Yeah.
You look ready. Judgment time.
Let's finish this.
Law is not the law. I'm the law. Negotiations over. The sentence is death.
I want y'all to go watch this movie this weekend. That's y'all's homework assignment, is to go watch that movie. And now to give you a real good depiction on what's planned for Chicago. Oh, gee, what it do, man? Right? Immigration leads to overpopulation, which leads to depopulation. Huh? The mega structures are on the way. Pay attention, like I always tell y'all, to the construction that's going on in your city, especially if you live in one of the big major 14 cities where most of us live at anyway. Most of us live at, right? Huh? Pay attention to the construction. Peep game, y'all.
Peach trees, multiple homicides.
Direct control. We'll take Peachtrees. Mega City 1 is a city that runs down the entire eastern seaboard of the United States, and it has about a 400 million population. The rest of America is pretty much a nuclear wasteland. Within the city are these immense buildings, these mega blocks. Each mega block is literally what we would think of today as a self-contained city, and that's where the action of our film takes place. Okay, rookie, what do you know about Peachtrees?
Sir, Peachtrees houses 75,000 registered citizens. It has the highest crime rate in Sector 13, unemployment rate of 96%, and more than half the residential levels here are classed as slums.
Our story takes place in one of these blocks that's been terrorized by this drug gang run by a woman called...
Did y'all hear that? 75,000 people. XL Pro, what happened, man? The mega structures are on the way, man. You hear me? 75,000, right? I'm about to pull this picture up for y'all, man. In the movie Dread, right, it's pretty much depicting the society that we seeing right now. You hear me? Rampant crime, right? High unemployment, overpopulation, defunding of the police to the point to where they have to give the authority to people to be judge, jury, and executioner, hence the Hall of Judges or the Hall of Justice. And everybody who was considered to be a police officer, they now are judge, jury, and executioner. I suggest y'all go read the Judge Dredd graphic novels, right? The mega structures are on the way, and Chicago is going to be the catalyst for this very society. Pay attention to the construction going on in y'all cities, man, especially if you live in a place like Chicago, Atlanta, Columbus, Ohio, New York, LA, Houston, Dallas. You hear me? Just go Google the 14 largest cities in America. And what you will find is that heavy construction is going on in the metropolitan areas of these cities, and they are all residential construction going on. How do you think we're going to house millions of immigrants from Central, South America, and Mexico, and all over the world and Caribbean? How else you think we're going to fit them into our cities? The mega structures are on the way. Now, Peachtrees was a mega structure in Mega City 1, and I'm telling y'all that Chicago is going to be Mega City 1, right? Maybe Mega City 2, because you got to think we got New York, and the same thing going on in Chicago is slated for New York, because they are both Democratic ran states and cities, and they are both sanctuary cities. The mega structures is on the way, y'all. Mark my words. You hear me? Mega structures, mega blocks. We talking about 300-story buildings that can house up to 75,000 people, right? Y'all better pay attention to this construction going on in your city, man. They don't show us movies like this just for entertainment purposes, man, right? And I constantly share this type of stuff with y'all to let y'all know where this stuff is planted. Sheesh, man. Which is really not a tall structure compared to some buildings. You feel me? You know, we got the Eiffel Tower that's 1,000 feet tall. You feel me? We got the Empire State Building that at one point was the tallest building on the planet. Right? So, you know what I mean? Just to put some things into perspective for y'all, man. You hear me? Just to put some things into perspective for y'all. You feel me? It's just sad, man. For real. I feel sorry for y'all in Chicago. And I really, because this is about to spread everywhere else. Don't get it twisted, man. Don't think your city is exempt. Yeah, the Sears Tower. Right?
Immigrants are on the move again in Chicago, the city prioritizing families taking some of the migrants with kids over to Daly College for temporary shelter, many of them getting fed, freshened up, and taking in the sunshine on campus. Some migrants told us off camera they are anxious to work and find more permanent housing, but are thankful for this shelter. A woman who has lived near Midway for about 25 years now heard about the migrants coming to Daly College and wanted to help. Diane Martinez had seen how they have been living at police precincts, many of them with their belongings in a plastic bag. So today, she brought in some suitcases.
It's humiliating enough that they're in a position where not everybody wants them here, and every little bit that somebody can do to make them feel a bit more comfortable and welcomed, why not?
There has been some pushback from other residents about the migrants being housed at Daly College. The community meeting Thursday night fueled some anger from people living on the southwest side.
When do citizens of the United States of America come first?
City leaders say it's a fraction of the cost to house migrants at the college compared to a hotel.
They've struggled. They went through a lot to get here. And for them to get here and then be spoken to so badly or not welcomed at all, it's just not right.
Watch breaking news on YouTube.
Right.
Subscribe to ABC7 Chicago Eyewitness News.
Right. Now, I feel for my brethren and sisters in Central and South America, Mexico, and Caribbean, right? But, and this is all being done intentionally, y'all. This is being done on purpose, right? Now, this is crazy, man. Crazy, man.
Officials tonight said Daly College is an ideal location because it's move-in ready and a fraction of the cost of a hotel. But many in the crowd didn't want to hear it.
When do citizens of the United States of America come first?
On the southwest side, city officials getting an earful.
How about this? Give them all these politicians' addresses and put them in their backyards,
How about that?
their basements, in their houses.
This meeting at Richard J. Daly College comes as the city, starting as early as this weekend, prepares to use this gymnasium until August 1st, and 2 auxiliary classrooms on the campus through the end of November to shelter more than 400 migrants.
Wow.
This is about being human and providing humane spaces for them.
I serve my country. We need to give these immigrants a chance.
But the debate igniting anger about how the city for decades has treated its poor.
We do not take care of our own people. There's no resources taken from our shelter system and the housing within our shelter system, as well as outreach agencies who are providing services on the street.
This gathering comes a day after the city council at a heated meeting approved $51 million in emergency migrant funding. That money only expected to last through the end of this month.
You speak very much about the money. It's our money. Every dollar you give is our money.
Last weekend, migrants began moving into Wright College on the northwest side. Officials say that's reduced the number of migrants at police stations from more than 800 last week to fewer than 640 now.
Watch breaking news on YouTube. Subscribe to ABC7.
Disgusting, man. You hear me? Yes. Since y'all are so, and this is nothing against my Latino brethren and sisters. My heart weeps for y'all's political and socio-economic situations that y'all are experiencing in Mexico, Central, Southern America, and the Caribbean, right? Don't get it twisted. We empathize and sympathize with y'all, but we got homeless people in America. We got people who are homeless in America who are sleeping in utter squalor. We got tent cities in all major cities just about out here in Columbus, Chicago, New York, LA, Atlanta. Atlanta has one of the biggest burgeoning, growing homeless populations in the country. And here it is at a point in time in our country where homelessness is almost too much to bear. All this money out of nowhere is afforded to these basically criminals. And when I say criminals, I don't mean everybody coming up here as like a murderer, a killer. I mean, as in breaking the law, right? As in breaking the law and getting over here illegally. My man Blademonger said, why is ICE not doing their jobs? That's the thing. ICE is doing their job. The immune, what's ICE stand for? Oh, what the fuck do ICE stand for? Something enforcement. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, right? This is their job. Their job is not to prevent people from getting over here illegally. Their job is to make sure that they get over here safely. All right? That ain't none of their job, man. Their job is to make sure they get here safely. You did. I want y'all to realize what's going on, man, right? In order to bring in this global power structure that they are setting up basically in our face and tricking us into doing it, giving them the permission to do it, in order for it to happen, America has to fall. The structure of America has to fall in order to bring in this new system. And I keep telling y'all about HR 1955. They are not only bringing in hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants and migrants, there's also going to be a criminal element among these people, which is going to cause the crime in our cities where all of these thousands and thousands of people will be inundating like a flood. I keep telling y'all, we are under attack. This is an invasion. And if you pay attention, I'm glad you said that, Lance Parker. If y'all pay attention, we kind of already are. We have been indoctrinated with a hierarchical mindset. And this is actually proper order and structure, but it's been inverted, right? God, man, woman, child, that's a hierarchy. But it's a divine, holy, fair, and balanced hierarchy. Ain't nothing fair and balanced, and definitely ain't nothing holy about what's going on right now with this immigrant situation, right? Now think about what I just said. Now think about the movie Dread. Crime is at an exponentially high rate, so much so that they had to give so-called officers, police officers, the authority to be judge, jury, and executioner, Vince calling them judges, the Hall of Justice, right? And even though these people had all this authority, that authority really don't mean too much when you are policing a city that has a population of 400 million. That's, yeah, illegal alien invasion. Yes. So think about what Blademonger just said. Illegal, hashtag illegal alien invasion. Now, think about when they talk to us about aliens. They never said anything about extraterrestrials, interdimensionals. They said aliens. And what is an alien? Huh? A lot of y'all, see, this is how they use word association on us, man. Alien doesn't mean you're not from planet Earth, right? Alien, belonging to another country. Belonging to a foreign country or nation. Unfamiliar and disturbing and distasteful. Relating to, oh, here it is right here, my fault. I forgot to read this part. Relating to or denoting beings supposedly from other worlds, extraterrestrial, right? A foreigner, especially one who is not neutralized, who is not a neutralized citizen of the country where they are living. Look at this definition. Peep this definition of alien. Look at this definition of alien. Right? A plant or animal species originally introduced from another country and naturalized. Huh? So when we're thinking about illegal aliens, that doesn't necessarily mean extraterrestrial, depending on what context you are using the word alien. And in this context, what we're talking about, they're not talking about beings from other planets or other worlds or dimensions. They're talking about people from right here on Earth, right? This is terrible, man. You hear me? Absolutely insane. You hear me? And it's not just happening in Chicago.
U.S.
And tonight we introduce you to a woman who came here from Ecuador and is now trying to make a living selling churros in the subway. Fox 5's Christine Russo has her story.
Selling churros and water bottles, Elvia Caiza says everything she does is for her two sons. Yo puedo ganar el día unos $100. I can make $100 or sometimes $120 a day. She came here from Ecuador 3 months ago, making the journey like so many other recently arrived migrants, mostly on foot. Selling churros, she says, is her way of getting by in the city. $5. But some days, she only makes enough to break even. El churro me cuesta $1. pero yo le doy a $2 porque el azúcar. The churros cost me about $1, and I charge $2 because of the sugar, which I add myself. So sometimes I don't bring home much money. On a hot Friday, she sells as much as she can before the daily afternoon police sweeps.
Llego a las 12, a la 1 del día y paso a las.
They're turning our cities into mega cities, man.
Sometimes I stay past 11 until I finish selling everything. Other vendors coming by to give her the heads up that a few officers were on their way. The fines, I'm told, are $100, often more than many make in a day. This afternoon, we saw police confiscate one vendor's entire cart. Times Square has often been a hub for unlicensed vendors. While it's a ubiquitous image of city life, it is still prohibited by the New York City Transit Rules of Conduct.
Pero dando gracias a Dios, me siento muy contenta para poder aquí trabajar y salir en adelante con mis hijos.
But thanks to God, I feel really happy to be able to work and continue moving forward with my sons. More than 70,000 asylum seekers have arrived in New York City over the last year. Recently, Mayor Adams and Governor Hochul have requested the Biden administration help expedite the process for asylum seekers to get their legal working permits. In Times Square, Christine Russo, Fox 5 News.
70,000 people, illegal immigrants, within the past year in New York City alone. Oh my God, y'all. Huh? This is fucking crazy, man. Right? This is crazy, man. Absolutely insane, y'all, man. My thing is, what about us? What about us homeless people here in America? You know what I'm saying? Or not say us, we ain't homeless. I mean, what about our homeless population here in America? We got people who done sit up here and fought for this country, put their life on the line, suffering from all type of PTSD. They can't even get decent housing. What about all them? What about us black folks? Our descendants, we are the descendants of the people who literally built this country from the ground up. We get all this flack and fuckery when we talk about reparations, which ain't no damn, hold on, let me cam up real quick on you niggas, man. All right. Reparations ain't no damn handout. Reparations ain't no goddamn it handout. It's what the fuck y'all owe, right? Now, they done sit here and went through all of this fuckery, all of this manipulation, right? So we can't genetically connect and tie ourselves to this land through massive usurpation, massive agent provocateur manipulation and behavior, right? Over the past 500, 600 years, right? To the point to where they didn't figure out how to swindle us out of connection to what's rightfully ours, right? And like I'm gonna always say when it comes to this situation, most of us are not prepared to do what's necessary, right? Because like I tell y'all all the time, man, these people are not about to just give us trillions of dollars. Come on, y'all. I want y'all to start thinking logically and critically about this. Why, after almost 1,000 years, would these people just give up their authority to us? I want y'all to understand that if the U.S. government, which is really owned and really the property of the British Crown, which is actually owned by the 13 bloodline families, Do y'all think they're just gonna give us that much power? I mean, come on, y'all, man. Seriously, man. I don't give a. We all know what's due to us. We all know what's owed to us, right? But do y'all really think these Khazarian demons, who done spent the better part of the last 7,000 years, you really think they're about to just give 7,000 years over to us? Let's just keep it in America, right? Do y'all honestly think that these people are going to just let like a little over 600 years of hard work? Y'all think they just about to just give that to us? My man Lance Parker said the U.S. undermined the will of the citizens of countries in the Western Hemisphere with Banana Republic. Yes, exactly. This was all strategically done to set up for what's happening now. America was always planned to be the hub of the global power structure. This is why, let me, what y'all know about this? This is something that a lot of y'all, I know if y'all tap in with me, y'all might be familiar with. But for the most part, a lot of people have never even heard of this, right? And when I first started talking about this, like right before I got locked up, a lot of my homies who I was in concert with at that time used to say stuff to me like, Virgil, you tripping. That's an internet YouTube conspiracy. And here it is happening right in our face. Capitalists in the US have invested in real estate in Mexico years ago. Exactly. Now the US capitalists are trying to increase the value of their real estate investments. Exactly. I want y'all to understand that Mexico is going to be, listen, in this grand scheme system that they are bringing in, the region of Mexico is deemed and slotted for extreme, massive production, global production. This is why they're moving all the people out. This is going to be the hub of warehousing and manufacturing and logistics. This is why they are creating the situations in Mexico and Central South America that they are. America is designed to be the producer of raw materials. Mexico is going to be where these raw materials will be processed. Central and South America will be the place where all the world's produce is grown. Pay attention to what's going on with the fruit farmers in South America, Ecuador, Chile, Venezuela, Argentina, Bolivia, Colombia, Brazil. Pay attention, y'all, right? When I first was talking about this, people thought that I was making this up, right? What y'all know about the NAU? We already got the African Union. We got the European Union. We got the Pacific countries and what else is the Union? We basically already have a South American Union. The last thing is the North American Union. All right. So I know about the North American Union. What y'all know about the North American Union, man? Huh? What y'all know about the North American Union, right?
López Obrador urging U.S. President Joe Biden to press Congress for immigration reform. This move sought to help regularize the migratory status of millions of Mexicans in the country.
Pedido que insista ante el Congreso de Estados Unidos porque el fentanilo y otros químicos vienen de Asia.
We got the perfect climate and the exact people in place to bring this into fruition.
However, protests erupted in Mexico against the new migration agreement forged between the two neighbors. Under this plan, the United States will send every month 30,000 illegal migrants from Cuba, Nicaragua, Haiti, and Venezuela back across the border.
Oh my God!
Obrador said that Mexico
30,000 a month.
Would promote economic development by creating a committee for import substitution to make North America less dependent on other regions of the world. The three countries pledged to strengthen their supply chain by producing more goods regionally and boosting the output semiconductors. Following this, the White House in a statement emphasized on the need for coordinating semiconductor supply chain mapping. This requires identifying the needs and investment opportunities for making the multi-purpose chips. While addressing the U.S. concerns on the drug trafficking from Mexico, Obrador assured him help in clamping down on a trade in the synthetic opioid fentanyl. The drug is blamed for thousands of deaths in the United States. The White House says that the two countries, along with Canada, would adopt an updated strategic framework to address threats posed by banned narcotics. On the sidelines of the meeting, Canada agreed to buy US-made surface-to-air missiles to help Ukraine. Joe Biden told the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau that he plans to visit Canada in March. After the meeting, questions were raised on the classified documents found inside the think tank that Biden previously used. Biden said that he was surprised to learn about this development and that his team was cooperating fully with a review into what happened.
I was briefed about this discovery and surprised to learn that there were any government records that were taken there to that office. But I don't know what's in the documents. My lawyers have not suggested I ask what documents they were. I've turned over the boxes. They've turned over the boxes to the archives, and we're cooperating fully with the review, and which I hope will be finished soon, and will be more detail at that time.
Now, for more on this, our correspondent Susan Tehrani has sent us this report from New York. Listen in.
See, when I first used to talk about this North American Union, a lot of people thought I just was making this shit up. A lot of people thought that I was call me conspiracy theorist. And here it is happening right in front of our face. You got the three people you need in strategic positions running these countries. You got Joseph Brandon Sleepy Skin Mask Clone Faced Ass, not Clown Face, cloned face ass Joseph Biden here in America, right? You got, goddamn it, what's the dude, what's the Mexican president, what's his name? You got Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador out of Mexico, right? Who's a Khazarian Mexican, right? And then you got Justin Trudeau in Canada, right? You got Justin Trudeau in Canada, who, if you ask me, right, who, if you ask me, is the illegitimate son of Fidel Castro. Huh? If you ask me, Justin Trudeau is definitely Fidel Castro's son, man. He is a spitting image of Fidel Castro. Now, Justin Trudeau's mother was a staunch supporter of Fidel Castro and Batista, and Che Guevara. And she was rumored to have had an affair with Fidel Castro, and their son was the product, Justin Trudeau. So it only makes sense that the North American Union is coming into fruition. Right? How many of y'all heard that before? You're not going to tell me that that's not that boy's dad, man. They are spitting images of each other. Huh? Huh? What y'all know about the North American Union? Huh?
Although the idea of a North American technocratic state called the Technit was most prominent as an idea in the 1930s and 40s, elements of the discussion are still very relevant to the modern times. Alright, let's start from the very beginning. The technocratic movement aimed to create a North American technocratic government. A technocracy can be distinguished from all other.
Y'all remember when I just was telling y'all about Elon Musk, Bezos, and who you think is annexing Mexico? Bezos, Musk, Zuckerberg, Wachowski, Brin, Page, Kurzweil, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman.
Forms of economic or social order, whether communism, capitalism, socialism, democracy, fascism, etc., because its primary focus is organizing society around science and especially engineering. What this means in practice is that
I told y'all the smart cities are here. I live in Columbus, Ohio, right? We have a think tank organization, a technocratic organization called Smart Columbus. We are spearheading and integrating smart technology into every aspect of our city, from the public transportation to residential living and everything else. Columbus, Ohio is the smartest city in America. Right? We have Google, Intel, Microsoft, Facebook, all currently right now building hub manufacturing facilities in my city. Right? Amazon got a foothold in this area. Right? I want y'all to realize what's going on, man. This immigration thing is being done on purpose. They're mentally, psychologically, and perceptually preparing us to live in a society where being an American citizen won't matter anymore, because America is about to cease to exist. And we're about to be living in the North American Union, or what they call the Technate. which is a technocratic society operated, ran, built by the technocrats who own the biggest corporations: Google, Amazon, Facebook, Intel. You hear me? Companies like Neuralink, Tesla, SpaceX.
All decisions in the government or society would be made by scientific experts. Now, the detailed specifics of how the government would actually...
Microsoft, Bill Gates. Remember when I was telling y'all about the brain gate? Pay attention to what's going on, y'all.
Can vary depending on the person theorizing, but the Technic, which again was this proposed American technocratic superstate, had a very specific envisioned structure which we'll be discussing today. Arguably the founder of technocracy and the main face of the Technet was a man known as Howard Scott. Scott saw several major issues with the way society was set up in the post-industrial revolution era. First of all, he saw engineers as being the ones who primarily ran society as it existed even at the time. He gives the example of lights in an auditorium. It's the engineers responsible for turning those lights on, whereas the elites of society, from bankers to politicians, are really just interfering with that. He believed, as I mentioned, that scientists and engineers in specific fields would be the best people to lead society. And I'll come back to that in just a moment, because that was only one of the major issues he saw with society at the time. The other was a seeming conflict between the productivity brought on by the Industrial Revolution and the demands of modern capitalism. Put another way, he believed that politics and money were rules of pre-technology, which were...
Let me answer that question for you, Blade Monger, right? My man Blade Monger says, why should American citizens pay taxes if illegal immigrants do not pay taxes? And I'm going to tell you why. Because it's designed to disillusion us psychologically. We are being preemptively prepared to live in a society where we are no longer American citizens. We are North American Union citizens. This is why they came up with this Real ID initiative, if y'all remember, about 10 years ago. This is why during COVID, they were talking about issuing these national IDs, right? Y'all better understand what's going on, man. You hear me? I'm about to drop the link, man, so some of y'all can come on up here, man, speak in peace on this, man, because I know a lot of y'all Chicago, brother, my brother Lance Parker, my brother Mr. O. I know a lot of y'all is experiencing this, man. You know what I mean? And I want y'all to have a big inner understanding of what's actually going on. Right?
I wanted to ask what you thought of the North American Union, if you're familiar with the concept.
The North American Union, is this between Canada, the US, and maybe Mexico?
Sir?
Whoa, you just cut out. Hold on. What was that? Did you say yes?
I did.
Oh, what would be it would be a union, an economic union? What exactly are the details?
It would be an economic union in addition to a political union. Think of like the European Union, but a more federated state.
I mean, without knowing, the way I would think about it would be, I would want to hear what are the parameters of the union and what do solid economic analyses say would be the impact. Just in a vacuum, it's hard to say it's a good idea or it's a bad idea. I don't know. Would the idea be to, what would the point of it be? Would it be to negotiate in a particular way, to align wages? I mean, I'm just unsure what the point would be.
Well, my idea, at least, would be the utilization of transfer payments to levelize like the total economic capacity of these different regions, bring up the standard of living in different regions, have a larger organizational capacity to like organize against other blocks of countries or regions.
Yeah.
Especially as we move forward, that'd be my general kind of idea.
I would evaluate it in the context of geopolitics, knowing with China and Russia as the two other big superpowers, with, you know, India, Nigeria as a growing power. I would think about it more in terms of what it would do geopolitically from the standpoint of American interests. Now, if you want to say, would it be better for Canada or Mexico, those are different calculations. But I would want to see an economic analysis that would look at it for what does it mean for the United States in a geopolitical context.
Geopolitics is definitely the first lens which I look at this through. I mean, the same thing with TTP and TTIP. You know, looking at, I mean, containing is probably the wrong word, but utilizing trade mechanisms to limit the expansion of China's influence, you know, and other factors.
It's completely conceivable that economists would look at it and say that's a good idea. I think it's basically an academic question because you and I probably both would agree that this isn't going to happen.
Well, it's an academic question, definitely, in the next 50 years or so. But I, you know, thinking broader and beyond that, I would unironically call myself a globalist and think it's a good idea. So I just
and you're not saying, you're not using that as code for Jewish, as many right.
He said he think it's a great idea. Now, mind you, this video was 2 years ago, and this is a guy who said, well, it's never going to happen. And look what's happening in front of our face. Now, listen to this.
These days, American money is all about our celebrated statesmen. But once upon a time, our currency was more adventuresome, featuring Native Americans, the Pilgrims, Martha Washington, Lewis and Clark. And back at the end of the 19th century, there was this inventive line of bills, known as the Education Series.
The name of this particular design is actually Electricity Presenting Light to the World. She's literally holding a light bulb.
We could understand why United States Treasurer Rosie Rios, whose signature you'll find in your wallet today, looks back longingly at the money of yesterday. To tell you the truth, this looks a lot more exciting than our current currency. I mean,
absolutely. I agree. This is absolutely my favorite
got
series.
Cherubs, you've got partially clothed women there. In 1929, we got the dollar we know today, and the look hasn't changed much. But see what the rest of the world is spending? Colorful and creative bills, banknotes graced with birds and beasts, even sports scenes.
A banknote actually could be the calling card for what that country represents in the international market. So you're trying to capture the culture of that particular country.
Alan Newman is director of design at De La Rue, a British firm that's designed paper money for more than 150 countries.
I want y'all to see this. You did. Did y'all realize what y'all just was watching? Right. This has been in plans for a long time, man. This been in the works for a long, long time, man. They ain't playing. The North American Union is upon us. Why y'all think they building? I showed y'all that NAFTA superhighway, right? Why you think they even came up with NAFTA? This what NAFTA was all about, right? And y'all can thank y'all's homeboy Bill Clinton and his witch of a wife, Hillary Clinton, for that, right? Remember when I showed y'all that map? This is the NAFTA superhighway currently under construction as we speak. This is the superhighway that will connect integral parts and regions of Mexico to North America to Canada. This is the trade route that will be the main connection for all trade and commerce, manufacturing, and distribution. This is not a joke. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is actually happening as we speak. Pay attention to the major construction on the freeways in your cities, especially if you fall within this highlighted yellow region, which extends all the way out here into the upper East Coast down near, all the way to the Midwest. If you live in any of these areas, you're going to see that there's heavy construction being done to y'all's highway system. And it is being done in order to connect to the NAFTA super highway, the North American Free Trade Association. And this is what free trade was all about. Now look in Mexico. Mexico is to be designed to be where all manufacturing of goods and products will be manufactured. This is why they are doing to what they're doing as far as the employment in financial infrastructure and economic commerce and trade logistics industry in Mexico. Pay attention and do your research into companies like Amazon, Google, Facebook, Monsanto, Microsoft, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, Kroger, Walmart. Pay attention to all of these corporations and the major construction that's going down there in Mexico. But they don't need a lot of humans because a lot of the things going on in Mexico with construction is being done by robots. The North American Free Trade Association Super Highway. Vernon 85, what it do? I'm not making this up. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is actually happening right now as we speak. I could take y'all on a trip around my city so y'all can see the major construction that's going on in Columbus, Ohio. Not only on the highway system, but downtown and surrounding area as well. The massive increase of residential housing in my city, in the metropolitan downtown region. It's happening all across America. And they're about to start flooding our cities with these immigrants from Mexico, Central, South America, and the Caribbean, because America is designed to be where everything will be processed, which is why they separating us into human settlement zones. And in order to man this huge workforce before they fully integrate robots to do all the work, because they still need humans to do some stuff. This is why they're bringing all these people here. They're bringing in the new slave class, the proletariat. If y'all read Brave New World, in the caste structure system, the betas, or should I say, the epsilons and the gammas. Y'all see that? Huh? Y'all better go read Brave New World, man. And when you think about the movie Dread, they're creating these mega regions, mega cities, mega structures. So when you think about the movie Dread, and they got the big, huge structures housing up to 70,000 people, 75. Imagine a building where 75,000 people can fit in it. That is basically a city. I think the city of Dayton, I think the city of Newark, Ohio has roughly, I don't even think Newark, Ohio has 70,000 residents, give or take. We have cities all throughout America. Look at the areas where the sewer highway is going to affect. Oh, damn it. Right? Look how far this thing spreads. Now, mind you, those main lines are the main lines, but think about all the current interstates that are going to be intersected through here. We got 70 east and west, which runs through my city. We got 75 north and south, 77 north and south. 10, the 80, the I-20, the I-10. Look at all these well-known routes. Right? What my man OG say? Remember they were attempting to build those cities in the building structures in Dubai? Yes, yes. The mega structures are, this is why this is happening, y'all. And this is also why, now think about this, y'all. I want y'all to pay attention to this map real quick, right? Pay attention to that map. And all the green lines are railway lines. Pay attention in y'all cities, man. They are restructuring and rebuilding the massive trains systems. Now think about the movie The Hunger Games. Think about the movie The Hunger Games. And all the major cities were called capitals. And it was a major railway system that connected all the districts. Pay attention, y'all. is the legend. The green you see are trains. Look how far they stretch. Pay attention, y'all. Right? Huh? Play Mark, you silly, man. Think about this, y'all. Put this together, connect the dots. At a time where major heavy railway, and highway construction is going on in our cities, we have a huge illegal immigration situation going on. All these people from Mexico, Central, South America, the Caribbean, and other parts of the world are being brought to America. The financial structure is being so disillusioned and overbearing that the actual citizens of America don't get an opportunity to reap the benefits of their hard labor, our hard labor, and it has to be proportioned amongst these so-called illegal immigrants. At the same time, major construction, residential construction is going on in all major cities right now, even in the rural areas. Pay attention to how we are being taken from rural areas and being forced to live in the cities. Look at this map. Look at this map of the projected North American Union highway and railway system. Pay attention to that, right? This stuff is crazy, man. You hear me? This is a map that I constantly show y'all. Right, this is the WILDLANDS project. Now, I'm gonna show y'all this map, right? This is another area, another WILDLANDS project map. Now, if y'all notice that the light green areas, is projected to where they will have human settlement zones. Now, it's going to be privately owned property, but human settlement zones. Notice, if you pay attention to this map, that there's a high concentration of green right on the other map where the NAFTA superhighway is planned to go through. Pay attention to that. The red areas are for restricted government-owned property. Wherever you see any of the red bits on this map, that's private property, specifically designed for little to no human contact, where everything will be processed and manufactured. A lot of this stuff is going to be computer chips and things that have to do with the smart grid, conductors, transistors. This is why Amazon, Microsoft, Intel, That's why they are building hub corporate offices, major facilities in all the regions where you see red at. Out here in my area, Ohio, we got Intel, Microsoft, Google, Amazon. The technocracy or the technate is being established right in our faces. I want y'all to pay attention to that. Pay attention to this map. All the light green parts is where humans are allotted to be, spread out in mega regions, in mega cities, housed in mega structures, smart structures. You're starting to see some of them now in your cities. Even in the rural areas, they're building these new this is what is known as UN Agenda 2030, stack 'em, pack 'em housing. And when they start building the mega structures in the metropolitan areas, that's when we're going to get the higher numbers of concentrations of people living in these buildings. Could you imagine a building in your city that houses 75,000 people? Imagine living in a building where there's 75,000 people that live in this building. Now pay attention to where you see the heavy concentration of green. If y'all pay attention to these maps, just like on the Wildlands Project map, where you see the heavy concentration of green is basically in the middle, that is exactly where the NAFTA superhighway is projected to have its main arteries. Right? And man. This ain't no conspiracy theory, man. This is happening right now as we speak, and has been happening for the past 20 some odd years. This is not a game, y'all, man. This is very serious. Right? Another thing I want y'all to pay attention to, right? We got our first dose of this back in Paradise, California. All right. This is something else I want y'all to pay attention to. The Wildlands Urban Interface, right? This is the contingency plan that is actually happening right now, where they're creating a barrier line between the rural areas where a lot of the wildlife is at. And we're starting to see this too, and creating a line, because this is like what they call a fire line. Now, this Wildlands Urban Interface has a lot to do with depopulating the wild animal population. This is why Gates is talking about synthetic meat. Y'all better pay attention and put this stuff together, man. Right? And not only along with that though, but the due to the extensive amounts of what they making us believe is dead forestry due to aeration of soil and massive droughting and over tilling of the land through the farming industry. Right? These wildland areas are highly flammable, combustible. And the wildlands urban interface is the contingency plan to create barriers between the urban areas and the wildlands area or rural areas where animals and these dead forestry, huge tracts of land are. And it's to prevent brush fires like what's happening out there in California and separating that from the urban areas, the projected urban areas, mega regions, mega cities. Think about movies like Judge Dredd, right? 2 movies I'm about to show y'all about. 3, Judge Dredd, right? Right? Pay attention to these movies, man. We've been being desensitized to this stuff for a long time, man. I'm gonna show you. I want to show y'all this map, right? We'll show y'all this image. For one, look at this image right here. That's the mega regions, man. Cities with 20, 30, 40 million people living in them. Mega structures. Elysium, yes. Right? But I want y'all to think about this though, right? I want to find the right picture for y'all. Right? Now, if y'all remember the first movie, Judge Dredd, right? They had a huge wall that separated Mega City 1 from the wasteland. Right? That's Dredd and Judge Dredd. Right? Another movie that I'll be telling y'all about that y'all need to go watch. I'm gonna find it for y'all real quick. Oh, they ain't got no pictures of it. Let me see if this will do it. Nah. They ain't got no images of it. But this is another movie that I'll be telling y'all about. I'll be telling y'all about Equilibrium. In the movie Equilibrium, right? There was this the society was called what was it called? Libria, the Librian Society. And this society came about after massive nuclear war, much like in Judge Dredd with Mega City 1. And, it was a huge wall that separated the mega city or Librian society, the city of Libria, from the wasteland. Right? That's two movies, right? That's two movies. Now think about movies like Escape from New York or Escape from LA with my man Kurt Russell in it, right? And Bill Duke. Or Isaac Hayes, rest of the essence of Isaac Hayes. Right? You hear me? Yeah, Chicago is crazy, man. I feel for y'all out there, man. You hear me? Yep. Y'all go watch that movie Elysium with Matt Damon in it. You know? This stuff is happening, man. It's not no conspiracy theory, man. It's happening. You hear me? He said, even in the Jetsons cartoon, those we never seen the ground. Yes. Right? You hear me, y'all, man? Do y'all understand what's going on, man? Chicago is the catalyst, right? Chicago is test grounds. You hear me? Chicago is the now pay attention to this, y'all. Think about what happened January 1st of this year, man. Huh? I feel so sorry for my brothers in Chicago because this stuff is about to happen everywhere else. It's just that Chicago is the catalyst. And I done sit up there and explain to y'all why Chicago has been chosen to be the prime test city for this new system that's being imposed upon us. And I'm gonna say imposed, right?
Spoke with an expert about what this all means come January 1st. Sabrina, it really depends on where you live.
Erica, this statute is long, it's confusing, and it's controversial. And in it, our experts say crimes fall into two categories, detainable and not detainable. With this latest lawsuit, now it's also a question of where the crimes and arrests happen, because come January 1st, some counties will follow the old set of rules, and others will follow the Safety Act rules.
Let's start with a crime, say robbery, stolen mail. Pre-Safety Act, the process is simple. Arrest, charge, see a judge. Judge sets bail or no bail. Post-Safety Act, the process changes.
And it seems to me that the legislature has lost their perspective with respect to the victims.
Our experts say the law deems some crimes non-detainable. like stealing those packages or other Class A, B, C misdemeanors. The person that gets caught gets a summons to appear before a judge later.
How is it that the state's attorney...
Let me tell y'all something, man. Do y'all know what it means to be summoned? I think this Sunday coming up, I'm going to start doing those etymology joints, man. How many of y'all know what the word to be summoned means? Right? I'm trying to remember what the word I said I was going to break down for y'all, the first word. Since we got all this talk about reparations and all this talk about immigration and where people originate from, and everybody want to talk about this whole thing with we Native Americans and, you know, we're from Africa, right? I think the word we're going to break down is alkebalin. Right. But I take suggestions from y'all too. Y'all sit up there and put what I want y'all to come up with. What word would y'all like me to break down etymologically for y'all? Right. You feel me? You did. I think I'm gonna do alkebalin for y'all, right? Yeah, see, y'all right. It means to be brought. Man, OG, you my nigga, bruh. I fuck with you, OG. OG, you need to bring your ass up on this goddamn panel, man. You hear me? OG said it means to be brought forth. That's powerful right there. And also what Blademonger said too, to be summoned means to be at beck and call. Man, Blademonger, this is why I fuck with y'all, man. This is why I fuck with my brothers, because my brothers is well versed and studied and learned, and it lets me know that some of y'all have been given the sight like me. When you are summoning, only demons can be summoned. Summoned is a Latin Vulgate Akkadian term meaning to be brought forth, to beck, or to beckon, or to call. Meaning being called to court, to the banco, or the bench. This is a tetragrammaton, hexagonal, octagonal demonic structure that's being set in place and being made digital. Do y'all understand what I know? Some of y'all understand what I just said when I say tetragrammaton. And oddly enough, in the movie Equilibrium, the so-called police system was called the tetragrammaton cleric. And the judges, like in Judge Dredd, the Hall of Justice, they had the judges who was judge, jury, and executioner. In the movie Equilibrium, they had the tetragrammaton cleric, and the judges were called clerics. Cleric is a religionist term. Huh? Y'all better pay attention to this stuff, man. Huh? I told y'all this is a demonic system. My man said to be brought forth. Do you understand? Right? When Yeshua cast out the legion from out of the young man of demons, he summoned them. That's why they said, well, send us into the swine. That lets you know right there that you have to have authority to summon demons, not only to summon them, but to have control over them and to cast them out and down. Oh my God, man. Why you think we being genetically modified, biomechanically enhanced and upgraded, made to be synthetic, right? Y'all better understand what's going on. This is way bigger than Chicago. Y'all understand what it means to be summoned? What words y'all want me? I wanted to break down Al-Keebling for y'all so y'all can understand where the term Africanus, Africanized, where that word comes from and what it actually means. But if I sit down and break down the original term for the continent we know as Africa, you'll understand why they named it Africa once you realize what Al-Keebling means. Right? I fuck with y'all, man. I really do fuck with y'all, man. And I appreciate y'all tapping in, smashing that like button, clicking on the page, man, and chopping it up with me and building together, man. Because I know this this lets me know that I'm not, and I would never be naive and arrogant to ever think that I'm the only one with the sight. I know plenty of people who have the sight, who have been given the sight to see. So don't ever get this twisted. But it's just a beautiful thing for me to be able to have a platform to where I can interact with people who have the sight. This is what I mean when I say like-minded people, we need to link up and connect, because when we do, we create super master, for the lack of a better term. I don't even use the word master because there's only one master. But doing what we was designed to do and come together, pause, and each one teach one, and we add on to each other's knowledge, and then that starts, you know what I'm saying? That's a beautiful thing, man. Yeah, we're gonna break it down, man. I'm gonna start it this Sunday, y'all. We're gonna start etymology class, right? Breaking down language on Sunday. I'm gonna come up with a slick little title for it, but we're gonna start that on this Sunday. This Sunday coming up, we're gonna have our first etymology class. We're gonna do it at noon. That's a perfect time to do it, at noon. You know what I'm saying? That way it won't be too early on the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? And everybody be up around this time or out this way. You know what I'm saying? Emotions were made for us to deal with. Emotions were not made to deal with us. If you don't believe me, just go read. Exactly, man. We are supposed to use our emotions. Look, the emotions are basically like how can I explain it? Emotions is a tool that we can use to get the best experience out of our experience in this reality. They are not what make us who we are, and we are not to let ourselves to be governed by them or to have dominion over us. They're merely a tool to be used to experience this reality or this world. Right? Do y'all understand that? You understand what I just said, man? Do y'all understand what I just said? That's why I say, especially as men, we can express our emotions. It's healthy for us to do so in a safe and healthy way. We can even get to where we can identify our emotions so we can express them in a healthy way. But we are never to become emotional. That means consumed by your emotions, which means you are now being led and controlled and guided by your emotions. That is not how the Most High designed us. He didn't design us to be emotional. That came from our contact through Eve with the serpent. And that's another topic for another day. You hear me? Let's continue and listening, y'all. I just had to break that down for y'all real quick, man.
State's Attorney's Office can intercede on every single case that comes before a judge.
Unless the state files a petition, then the judge has to allow the person to be released.
Prosecutors have to prove that a defendant poses a risk to the safety of a specific person or persons, and/or as a high risk of fleeing before trial. They have to petition to keep that person in jail, which many say takes the power out of the hands of the presiding judge and puts the pressure on the victims.
For the serious violent offenses, there should be some consideration with respect to allowing those people to be back on the street.
Now intro this latest lawsuit. Kankakee County Chief Judge Thomas Cunnington ruled some parts of the Safety Act unconstitutional. It keeps things like having all law enforcement wear body-worn cameras by 2025, also mentioned in the act, but stops new bail reform in its tracks, so long as you live in one of the 65 counties mentioned in that suit. So if that package thief is arrested in Kankakee, they follow that old set of rules. In Cook, Lake, DuPage, and Kane counties, that's in our area, the Safety Act applies. Experts say expecting prosecutors to provide evidence you'd see at trial before the actual trial.
How can the prosecutor claim there's clear and convincing evidence when there's stuff that has to be analyzed?
All of this could change if that same judge issues an injunction before January 1st. That would mean the ruling applies statewide. The Safety Act would not go into effect in the new year and would likely instead go before the Illinois Supreme Court to review. We're in the newsroom. Sabrina Bronza, CBS 2 News.
Sabrina, thank you.
Right? Y'all hear that? Y'all remember the Safety Act? January 1st of this year, the Safety Act was passed in this whole state of Illinois, but specifically was supposed to be designed for Chicago. Like we know, that is literally the biggest state, biggest city in Illinois, right? But it's going to spread to everywhere.
That ruling applies only to those counties where the law was challenged. There are concerns tonight about defendants being treated differently depending on where they live, and so both sides are turning to the state's high court.
This is a big win for the rule of law, and this should be embarrassing to the Illinois General Assembly.
County State's Attorney Patrick Kennelly heralding the ruling blocking a portion of the Illinois Safety Act that ends the practice of cash bail on January 1st, while allowing judges to detain certain defendants they deem dangerous.
This is a law that undermines public safety.
In his 33-page opinion, Kankakee County Judge Thomas Cunnington citing the need for a separation of powers, saying the appropriateness of bail rests with the authority of the court and may not be determined by legislative fiat. Illinois Attorney General disagrees.
In fact, with the recent amendments to the Safety Act, I think the judge's discretion with regards to pretrial detention is expanded.
The judge's ruling applies only to the 60-plus Illinois counties where the law was challenged, including McHenry, DeKalb, Kendall, Grundy, Will, and Kankakee. Cook, DuPage, Kane, and Lake are not impacted by the ruling.
And it could now be that whether or not you are held on a bail or a money bond prior to trial could be determined by your zip code.
The Attorney General appealing to the state's high court, and state's attorneys are headed there too.
We're going to ask the Illinois Supreme Court to declare the entire act unconstitutional and make it applicable to the entire state.
That judge in Kankakee County rejected the plaintiff's request for an injunction, and so the Attorney General is now arguing that judges within those 60-plus counties have discretion to comply with the Safety Act and forego cash bail.
Hey, if you like that video, be sure to subscribe to our ABC.
Man, y'all hear this, man? This is going on in Chicago, man. Right? I'm sitting up here telling y'all, man, what Chicago is being primed and prepped for, man. Right? We done been sitting up there and they showed us them Purge movies, man. You hear me?
misunderstanding or a deliberate misinformation to keep people confused about this law. I can tell you that social media has truly left people perplexed, and tonight we try clearing up the air. The SAFE-T Act has left so many confused as to when someone will actually step before a judge and whether they will stay locked up or get from behind bars. Conservatives don't like it. They need to fix it, and it's consuming attorneys.
People are freaking out. This thing is all over social media.
At issue in the 700-page law, the abolishment of cash bail mandates for offenders.
Bond should never be so high that people can't afford it, and that's the only reason they're in jail.
Yet Republican candidate for Attorney General Thomas DeVore believes this law going into effect in January takes bonds completely off the table, giving those arrested the upper hand.
Because they're going to get a get-out-of-jail-free card. Once they're arrested, if they can't be detained, they're going to be let out. And once they're let out, there's no incentive to come back.
There is no automatic get-out-of-jail-free card.
And so says former prosecutor and current criminal defense attorney Tamara Walker.
I am not a political proponent.
Walker says cash bail will not leave violent offenders with a pat on the back.
The judge is going to look at the totality of the circumstances, just like they do now. The totality of the circumstances in bond review is this. Does the person pose a flight risk? Is this person a danger to people and or the community? Judges will still evaluate on those grounds.
There's been a lot of talk of this law being a purge for those sitting in jail unable to pay cash bonds.
For those currently in jail that cannot post bail, if they are actually in jail on a crime that they cannot be detained for, they're going to let them go.
There is absolutely a process. And now, let me be very clear. There may be an opportunity for bond to be reviewed to determine if the offense should be modified from being a cash bond into a monitoring situation.
One thing the two sides can agree is this law has become politicized.
At least for the next 6 to 8 weeks, people are kind of paying attention to what's going on with our government.
It's been a lot of propaganda and very little truth.
And tonight, the Cook County Board President, Tony Freckle, says that the recent rhetoric, negative rhetoric about this law is essentially designed to incite fear and for political gain. Meanwhile, down a little further south in Kankakee, the state's attorney there has filed a lawsuit against the governor and the attorney general, saying that this law is unconstitutional. Reporting live in the West Loop tonight, Jermont.
Man, that's the Safety Act for y'all, man. Now, think about this. They passed this into law January 1st of this year, fully knowing that the current situation was going to be taking place. Right? Now, you got literally tens of thousands over the next couple of years, hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants coming to America. Specifically Chicago. All of these people coming from Central America, South America, Caribbean islands, Mexico, mainly. Gonna be people from all over the other place, but mainly from these 3 regions. 4 regions, right? Central America, South America, Caribbean, Mexico. All these people coming over here, they're not going to be good people. It's going to be a criminal element amongst these people. And they are anticipating this. This is why they're coming up with this Safety Act legislation. Chicago is the catalyst experiment test hub city to see how effective their new robot police will be, their smart grid will be. They're constructing mega structures, putting up these apartments in the strangest of places in your city. Y'all see them, these new apartment complexes just popping up out of nowhere. Huge complexes that can house up to 1,500 people or families. Notice the construction going on downtown in y'all major cities, Chicago, Columbus, Atlanta, Cleveland, New York, Miami, Houston, Dallas. New Orleans. Huh? Pay attention, y'all, Miami. Pay attention to the construction that's going on in the downtown metropolitan areas. They're preparing for this, man. You hear me? And been preparing for it. We just now starting to see it coming to fruition. And Chicago is my belief and factually being proved to me that Chicago is the test hub city, right? For many reasons. Think about them ley lines, them dragon lines I told y'all about that intersect throughout the whole city of Chicago, how many of them converge right there in Chicago, right? And now we have in Chicago being inundated with illegal immigrants, not just from Mexico, but from Central America, South America, and the Caribbean. Mainly from Central and South America and Mexico, though, or mainly Mexico, but other groups mixed up in there. And they passed this legislation called the Safety Act, which is basically going to decriminalize very major crimes as a result of the super influx of people that are not going to be able to be properly policed by the already stressed out Chicago Police Department. Now, mind you, this all the Safety Act, illegal immigration, all at the same time where they're talking about actually defunding the police. At the same time, y'all's mayor just announced, like Houston's mayor, Houston's chief of police, y'all's chief of police, New York City's chief of police, just all announced that they're introducing robot dogs and police into the police force. Hold on. Hold on. My bad, y'all, man. You hear me? I've been sitting up here telling y'all about this stuff, man. Counterterrorism. Huh? Now, y'all think it's a game, don't y'all, man? Y'all think it's a game, don't y'all, man? Y'all think it's a game, don't y'all?
Anyone? Hello? I can't talk for long. We found a dog at the warehouse. I've lost it for now. But my guess is it's still operational. If I don't make it back, I've always loved you all.
Let me show y'all a better clip than that, right? Now, what I was just showing y'all was a clip from an episode of the Netflix series Black Mirror. It's an episode on there called Metalhead. It's a robot dog designed to seek, destroy, and kill. Now, that commercial was a Boston Dynamics commercial. Now, New York, Chicago, Houston, and a lot more police departments just recently announced that they are starting to use these Boston Dynamic dogs called Spots in the police force. Y'all think, how y'all think they're going to police a city of 8 million people, 10 million people, 20 million people? Huh? It's crazy, y'all, man. Absolutely insane.
Metalhead is a bottled nightmare. It's a primal fight for survival. It's not about a sort of action hero. She's a normal human being.
It's got a sort of that slight horror element to it. It's very tense.
Maxine has a relatability
Hello?
and a likability to her.
Anyone? Come in.
But also, there's a toughness there as well.
Oh, I'm a bit achy and a bit bruised at the moment.
I wanted to do something that was just visceral and unrelenting from the very start.
Man, y'all need to go watch that, man. You hear me? Now, think about this right here, right? How many of y'all seen the new version of this movie, right? With I think Michael B. Jordan plays in it. He plays the main character, Montag. I told y'all about it. The new movie, Fahrenheit 451. Y'all ever read the book by Ray Bradbury called Fahrenheit 451? Right? In the novel, Fahrenheit 451 was a movie about censorship. Right? It was a movie about censorship. And in that book, right, Fahrenheit 451, this is the temperature at which they would incinerate, evaporate, vaporize reading material, books. Fahrenheit 451, the temperature at which books burn, right? And Michael B. Jordan's character, Montag, was a member of the fire department. And they had under their operation a robot dog called Spot. This is Ray Bradbury, man. He came out with this book. Let me see something, man. Let me see when was Fahrenheit. (1953). Fahrenheit 451 came out roughly 5 years after 1984 and Brave New World. Another book that I suggest y'all go get, Fahrenheit 451, written by Ray Bradbury. Right? In the movie Equilibrium, the other movie I was telling y'all about, they had a fire squad, and the fire squad would go around to each house and burn anything that they said had EC, emotional content. Go check that movie Equilibrium out. Go check this movie out with Michael B. Jordan in it and Michael Shannon in it. This is the most updated version of the book and movie. I think this movie came out in 2016, 17, right? But the reason why I'm saying all this with Fahrenheit 451, right? In the novel Fahrenheit 451, the fire department was responsible for incinerating in books. And when they found people who were guilty of having books, it was a crime to have books. They sent out their robot dog called Spot to go neutralize people. That was the Spot from the novel Fahrenheit 451. Huh? Tap in and walk with me, y'all, man. Tap in and walk with me, man. Let me see if I can find the clip on the 2016 is when the movie came out.
On your own from the age of 15. Reckless. dangerous, aggressive, and undisciplined.
Oh, I'm gonna find it for y'all. That's about it, right? No, they ain't got a.
State your name for the record.
Right. See? And that's what it looked like in the movie. Huh? Exactly. That's why I don't fuck with Twitter. You can't fully articulate and express a full thought with 160 characters, man. That is dumbing us down. That is digressing us. That's making us stupid. It's also, like in 1984, getting rid of words that actually mean stuff. So I want y'all to understand, man, that what's going on in Chicago is slotted for the rest of the country, whether you a sanctuary city or not. And to be honest with y'all, it's already set in stone. It's already settled. Ain't no point in going to these city council meetings. Y'all notice that in the city of Chicago, y'all keep going to these meetings about this. There's nothing changing. Ain't nothing happening. It's already settled. This is why I've told y'all about the Delphi method. We've all been Delphi'd. Right? We all have been Delphi'd. Oh my God, man. Huh? We all have been Delphi'd.
Now, have any of you guys ever seen one of these bad things for real? We burned almost every physical book in the country.
Y'all need to go watch this movie.
There won't be one book left. Burn it.
What's wrong, Montague? Your vitals have been off recently.
Dig firemen used to put out fires.
That's a classic lie. Have you used your drops today?
Man, y'all need to go watch this movie, man. Y'all need to go watch this movie, man.
You're not born equal. You must be made equal by the fire. And then we can be happy.
I got things inside my head that don't make sense. Dreams that I can't explain.
Read. Before the men come back. Do you want to know what's inside these books? Insanity.
They're lying to you.
So aren't you telling me?
You never do anything.
This movie is ill, man.
You're just like Beatty.
I'm not like Beatty.
We have an important task for you.
If anybody sees me, I'm dead. The danger is real and immediate.
I think this is the best movie Michael B. Jordan played in.
Words are a terror, son, I know.
Knowledge is a dangerous thing.
I'm trying to watch this to see if they stole that spot dog in here. Oh, yeah, they don't show it in there. But if you read the novel by Ray Bradbury, Fahrenheit 451, they have the dog in there called Spot. Oddly enough, Boston Dynamics also calls their dog Spot. I've been telling y'all that the robot army is here. And what's going on in Chicago is a major part in bringing in the robot army, right? Now think about the movie from back in the day. Guess what movie I'm about to talk to y'all about now? This is a movie that we all have been indoctrinated with when we were kids. Right? Human brain, computer, see how it's all connected and all integrated? We got immigration, illegal immigration, which leading to overpopulation, defunding of the police. At the same time, corporate private takeover of our cities, right? At the same time, we got our cities experimenting in doing liaison work with these corporations with human brain computer interfacing and robot technology being used in the transportation system and the police force. Now, at the same time, they're defunding the police forces, which is going to lead to more crime being done by the illegal immigrants that are being flooded, inundated in our cities. Robot police, human brain computer interfacing.
One of the most horrific scenes in a film has to be in RoboCop 2, in which the main villain, Kane, before having his brain put into the cyborg body, is just in a tank with the eyeball still attached. There's at one point where they show a POV of what he sees, and all this tells me is he's conscious the entire time. He cannot close his eyes. He has no mouth to scream. All he can do is scream within his mind. One of the most horrific scenes in the film has to be in
human brain computer interfacing.
You know that in RoboCop is seen killing a lot of people, despite the fact that Asimov's laws of robotics dictate that robots should not be able to cause harm to human beings. This is a nod to the fact that laws don't actually apply to cops. Did you know that in RoboCop is...
Huh? Huh?
You are a machine. I identify as human. Then you choose termination. Round one, fight. Get over here.
That's RoboCop versus the Terminator, man. Huh? That'd be a dope ass movie, wouldn't it, right? Man, listen here, man. You hear me, y'all? In the movie RoboCop, which was set in the city of Detroit, might as well be Chicago, right? And it was a corporate entity known as the OCP, Omni Consumer Products. Think of Monsanto, think of Amazon, think of Google. And they took over the policing system because it was so heavy in crime in the city of Detroit. They had to defund the police agency because they couldn't afford to provide police for the growing population and the growing crime. So they had corporate private interests come in with all of their money They had jurisdiction over the police while experimenting with their robot technology, the RoboCop. And how did they do that? By taking dead cops and integrating them, or seemingly dead cops, and merging them, human brain computer interfacing, human biological upgrades and enhancements, the singularity, the combining of unintelligent artificial intelligence technology with human biology, the singularity. See how it all fits together? So what's going on in Chicago is way bigger than just illegal immigration. It's being used to bring in all the shit y'all hear me talking to y'all about, breaking down to y'all. Do you understand? In Chicago is being, I firmly believe that Chicago is going to be the test grounds for the new system coming into fruition in America. Chicago has a huge immigration process crisis going on right now. They have a huge crime crisis going on right now. They have a defunding of the police agenda going on right now. Not to mention the massive ley lines that just intersect and connect all through y'all's demonic ass city. At the same time, drill music was birthed out of Chicago, which is contributing to the extreme violence. Y'all city is ran by the Black Boule. Y'all have the most corrupt political structure out of all the cities in America. Chicago is test grounds for the mega cities and the mega structures. Why y'all think they hit us with that TV show called The Chi? Think about all of this stuff now. It's easy to sit up here and say, I would leave Chicago. I would leave Chicago. I wouldn't. If I was from Chicago, I wouldn't fucking leave. But don't get it twisted. What's going on in Chicago is going to be going on everywhere else. Oh, it's coming to a city near you. And it don't matter if it's Republican or Democratic. And Trump ain't going to say shit. Trump is the guy who is with bringing in unintelligent artificial intelligence technology. Trump supports Boston Dynamics. They were one of his main contributors to his campaign. Northrop Grumman, Boston Dynamics, Raytheon. These are all munitions, weapons, manufacturing companies, corporations that have funded Trump's campaign. Northrop Grumman is one of Trump's biggest contributors. How many of y'all know who Northrop Grumman is? Exactly, Mr. O, exactly. The Black Boule is the buffer class between the poor people, black people in Chicago, and the upper echelon. They just got rid of Lori Lightfoot, who's Delta Theta Sigma, and they just put this Brad Johnson dude in there, who I'm pretty sure is a member of the Divine Nine. I'm positive he is. Exactly. Why you think they doing to Flint what they doing? We watching the establishment of the mega regions, man. Mega cities. Man, I'm just sitting here trying to tell y'all what's going on, man. Brandon Johnson, yeah. And I know he is. He looked like a Kappa. He's either a Kappa Alpha Psi or Alpha Phi Alpha. He's one of those two for sure, right? Which means he's more than likely Boule. You understand what I'm saying? So it's the reason why I sit up here in past times that's talked so heavily to y'all about the Black Boule, Sigma Pi Phi, the Divine Nine. All of this, there's so many different webs, there's so many different strands in the web. It's so many facets, it's so many different avenues and aspects to this one huge fucking conspiracy. This one big agenda. Right? So what's going on in Chicago is going to be going on all over America. You can believe that. Right? Thank y'all for coming out, man. Tomorrow we're going to be getting straight to it. You did? Tomorrow we're paying homage and respect. And this is going to be our last little leg of the West Coast. We're going to take it to the Midwest. Next week, we definitely going to be doing a tribute to our brother Twister out of that old Shy. So next week for Hip Hop Tuesdays, we're going to be paying tribute to the brother Twister. You hear me? But tomorrow, we most definitely got to pay honor and homage. You hear me? To our brother Earl Simmons, E40 Fonzarelli. You hear me? This is what we paying homage to tomorrow. My nigga E40. You did? You know, appreciate y'all coming out tonight, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, y'all could be anywhere in the world, man, but y'all tapping in right here with me, man, like I tell you all the time, and I appreciate that, man. You know, y'all could be anywhere in the world right now, man, but y'all still here tapping in with me, and I appreciate that, man. I do not take that for granted. Don't ever get it twisted, y'all. I appreciate that. I respect it. I honor that, and I cherish that, man. Y'all absolutely do not have to be tapping in with me. Y'all could be doing anything, hanging out with y'all's families, doing anything. Y'all tapping in with me, and I appreciate that, man. You know what I'm saying? We grinding and we growing, man. You hear me? The unintelligent artificial intelligence to all my up-and-coming content creators creating actual content. The unintelligent artificial intelligence is designed to make us want to quit, right? You have to keep going, keep creating content. Don't get discouraged. Don't let numbers and views and likes and all that bullshit deter you from speaking truth to power, man. And informing us on whatever game, whatever knowledge you got to share with us that we might not be privy to. You don't quit. You keep going, and I don't give a damn if it's one. You keep going, right? Eventually, you will crack the code. You know what I'm talking about? Tap in, walk with us, y'all. Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page, share on your social engineering. Tell everybody to come tap in with your guy, Virgil Berry, a.k.a. Stacks with the Facts. You did. I hope I was able to bring some clarity to some things for y'all tonight concerning the situation in our brother, Mr. O City of Chicago. On the surface, yes, this has a lot to do with immigration, illegal immigration, and flooding the cities, but y'all got to be able to piece it all together to see why it is all being done. All right? And I don't want my black brethren and sisters to get caught up in this. It's all about us. They just doing this against us. And this weird. No, man. We're just one of the targets. We ain't the main target. The main target is all of us. You think Mega City 1 is just designed for niggas? But understand why we are the prime target. Right? And don't get caught up in that, though. Because you ain't the only target, black people. They ain't coming for just us. They're coming for everybody. They're just coming for us first. White people, do not think that y'all are safe. All you illegal immigrants from Mexico, Central America, South America, Caribbean islands, and wherever else from the fuck around the world you might come from, don't think that you're going to get some type of special treatment. All my Latino brethren and sisters, y'all have been indoctrinated with liberation theology, which is really communistic, totalitarian ideology, which is why y'all are so successful and easy to implement so-called white supremacists, which is really Khazarian supremacist ideology. This is why y'all have been indoctrinated, and y'all have been indoctrinated just as much as we have with the mindset of so-called white supremacy, which is really Khazarian demon supremacy. White folks, y'all have been used too. The major homeless populations in this country belong to white folks. Most people in America on welfare are white people. Y'all have been used. Y'all have been lied to. Y'all have been made to think that y'all somehow are the progenitors of everything wrong when it's really the Khazarians. They used y'all too. Y'all were indentured servants. Y'all were chattel slaves as well. Y'all only inherited plantations and farms because your parents worked for the Khazarian demons. This is where sharecropping came from and partnership came from. The law of contracts, Admiralty Maritime, International Judicial Law. Y'all were slaves just like indigenous people were, Aboriginal people were, African Alkebulan people were. Don't get it twisted. What do y'all think the Boer Wars were in Africa? History has been mistold to us. Most of the people brought over here on boats were white people, Europeans. There was tons of indigenous Aboriginal black people here way before they start bringing African Alkebulan slaves over here, mind you, who were sold into slavery by their own people. And it wasn't white folks, it wasn't white people who were the first to enslave Africans. It was actually the Arabics, who are crypto Jews or Khazarians. The House of Saud are Khazarian Dome Jews. Y'all need to get y'all's fucking history up and y'all's fucking research game up. A lot of y'all think y'all know what y'all talking about, and y'all absolutely do not. That's why you don't hear me pushing no African fuckery. Why you think the African niggas don't even claim us? They don't fuck with us because they know most of us don't come from there. All you niggas talking about this back to Africa shit, this African shit, don't even know what the term Africa means, let alone the originate term Alkebulan. So you got guys like Dr. Umar who pushing this Pan, which is the Greek demon goat god, Pan of mischief, and also spirit cooking and pedophilia. Pushing this Pan demon goat god, Africanus. Africanus is a title the name of a family or title given to Roman generals and soldiers, all of them who participated in spirit cooking, cannibalism, which is what the continent of Africa was named after when the Africanist bloodline or Africanist title bloodline took over Africa. Or should I say Alkebulan? Y'all need to get y'all's history. Y'all need to really do some real live research and due diligence, man. So when I hear guys like Umar pushing Pan-Africanism, I would not be naive enough to think that he doesn't know this, him being an intelligent man. So who's funding Umar? Who's paying him with his agent provocateur ass? Marcus Garvey, agent provocateur. Frederick Douglass, agent provocateur. Both of them, or should I say, Frederick Douglass was a member of the Boule Society. He was Alpha Phi Alpha, one of the originating members of the frat. Who y'all think paid for his college education in France with his homeboy W.E.B. Du Bois? Get y'all's research up, man. Tap in, walk with us. We going in tomorrow. E&E 90s Hip Hop Tuesdays, man. I want y'all to be able to see what's really going on out here and why I go so hard on stuff I do, because the very niggas like Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey, W.E.B. Du Bois, all of these guys were Boule, except for Marcus Garvey, right? All of these guys were bought and paid for by the Khazarian demons. How do you think Marcus Garvey got the money to start his union? How do you think he got the money to start his ship line company? Right? Tap in, walk with me, y'all, man. You know, I'm not I don't claim to be the know-all, end-all, be-all. I don't do that, though. But, you know, man, like I said, I do heavy, thorough research, man, and been doing so for about 20 years now. You hear me? And I understand why now. What better time than now? This is why I can see, like I said, God has blessed me with the sight. I can see this stuff, man. I see where it's all going, and I see how it's all connected, right? So what's going on in Chicago right now is the catalyst for everything you hear me talking about. And we're going to see it start to spread across the country. It's going on in New York right now. It's been happening in LA, in California, and it's about to spread across the whole country. We're going to have mega cities, mega structures, mega regions, smart grid, robot police, human settlement zones, assigned housing, assigned employment. You know, it's happening, man. It's here, right? I want y'all to go watch that movie Dredd, the prequel to the movie Judge Dredd. I want y'all to go watch that movie called Dredd. That is the exact society that we about to be seeing in our cities right now and in the coming years, starting with Chicago and I'm going to say New York at the same time, them being two of the three largest cities in our country, right? Chicago and New York, specifically Chicago, is going to be the catalyst cities for these mega cities, right? Tap in, walk with me, y'all. Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page, man. We up out of here, man. I love y'all, man. Appreciate y'all, man. Y'all can be anywhere in the world with y'all right here with me. And I keep telling y'all, I appreciate that, man. Let's go. Yeah. E&E.
E&E.
Stats with the facts.
What up, Stat?
I got my man Glitch the Guarantee on the track with me.
Glitch the Guarantee.
Yeah. And we bringing this message to you fake woke niggas.
Gotta wake these niggas up, man.
All y'all out there spreading them lies and falling victim to this propaganda.
Niggas believe it.
Glitch. Let's talk to these niggas. Fake woke niggas be surrounding me daily, so I can't surround them like my name was Alvin A. Fake woke niggas be surrounding me daily.
Alarm clock, wake 'em up. Time to wake 'em up.
Fake woke niggas be surrounding me daily, so I can't surround them like my name was Alvin A. Fake woke niggas be surrounding me daily.
Alarm clock, wake 'em up. Time to wake 'em up.
Gotta set the alarm, wake you up from the slumber. With an hairy fake woke niggas, y'all dumb and dumbass. I drop jewels, but people don't pay any attention. Now let's see immediately. We the wake up of henchmen.
A lot of times these woke niggas be really sleep. Shit, the price on a nigga's life is extra real cheap. Only the real for my niggas. We all only we made a living eating these rappers, nigga. Bon appetit.
Yeah, pause. Me and my brethren be down for the cause. We gotta come together and tear down all these walls and illusory fault lines like racism and bring light to the woke, just like a baptism.
The congregation spoke. These niggas ain't who they claim to be. A bunch of Peter pop off niggas really be lames to me. Anytime you at war, it's gonna be casualties. The more we come together, it's easy to beat the enemy.
Fake woke niggas be surrounding me daily, so I dance around them like my name was Alvin A. Fake woke niggas be surrounding me daily.
Alarm clock, wake 'em up. Time to wake 'em up.
Fake woke niggas be surrounding me daily, so I dance around them like my name was Alvin A. Fake woke niggas be surrounding me daily.
Alarm clock, wake 'em up. Time to wake 'em up. Alarm clock to the woke. Time to wake 'em up. The main initiative should be to get your cake up. You wave ride niggas need life jackets to stay afloat. Meanwhile, I'm blowing on gas straight from the Ivory Coast.
In every post I be hitting y'all with them straight facts. The secret is now here. We gotta face down. While they coming with microchips and vaccinations, they know niggas perpetuating indoctrination.
Fuck this pandemic scam. This was a damn gimmick. Niggas will believe that their mom died and she still living. Open your eyes, nigga. You can see the lies, nigga. We gotta stop letting the blind lead the blind, nigga.
And that's the biggest fact, which you better tell them this Agenda 2030 gang. It's gonna be niggas. So fuck AOC and her new Green Deal. I'm Neo with this bitch. You want they red pill.